Kitchen gadgets are a fascinating way to see how life has evolved. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to appreciate the kitchen itself. Often considered the heart of the home, this is where families would come together, cook, eat, and make memories. The kitchen has come a long way since the 1950s, as technology has changed the tools we use to help us make meals. So let's take a look back at some of these once common kitchen gadgets that are now forgotten. A tin can key was once a common and necessary tool to have around the kitchen. It was used to open pre-canned foods before more modern can openers were widely available. They worked by hooking it to a tab on the can and then twisting around, which rolled back the lid. While they were ingenious for their time, cans now have something that doesn't require a tool at all, in the form of the pull tab that allows you to pry and peel back the lid yourself. And if you just happen to buy an old school can, a regular can opener does the job just fine. A pot strainer was always the go-to method for draining the boiling water from pasta or vegetables. These handheld gadgets would fit over the edge of a pot, allowing you to pour out the water while keeping your food safely inside the pot. Nowadays, many new pots and pans come with lids that strain water too, so the need for a separate pot strainer isn't necessary. It's all about the built-in convenience nowadays, but just seeing a pot strainer reminds you of the good old days. At Recollection Road, I believe preserving the past is incredibly important, and our friends at Legacy Box do too. So much so, they've offered my viewers a code for 55% off. In today's digital age, analog media like VHS tapes and film reels are fading, risking the loss of cherished memories due to things like mold, dust, and time. But Legacy Box, trusted by over 1.5 million families, offers a simple and safe solution to protect your memories before it's too late. With Legacy Box, you can convert your analog treasures into digital memories effortlessly. Send your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, and pictures to Legacy Box, and like magic, receive back your originals and digital copies for easy enjoyment, sharing, and organization. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, enjoy an exclusive 55% discount at legacybox.com/recollection. Don't let your memories fade. Preserve your past today with Legacy Box. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send them in whenever you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. Before prepackaged ground spices were readily available in stores, people used their very own spice grinder to crush dried spices. These things looked like pencil sharpeners, and they were often clamped to the counter. While some culinary enthusiasts still prefer to grind their own spices for maximum flavor, most of them use electric grinders, while the average home cook now opts for the convenience of store-bought ones. Remember these ice trays that used to sit inside the freezer in mid-20th century kitchens? They had a lever mechanism that would release the ice cubes, which could be quite a hassle. The plastic ones that came later were much easier to use, just by flexing the tray back and forth. But there's something cool about this contraption with its metal levers. These vintage ice trays were no doubt a staple in the 1950s and 1960s. Have you ever seen a cherry stoner? This gadget was used to remove pits from cherries, making them ready for pies and other recipes. You could find this as a single hand press or a hand crank device that would dispense multiple cherries into a bowl. The cherry stoner is not very common anymore, mainly because you can buy cherries pre-pitted, which saves you the time and the hassle of doing it yourself. Hand mixers were once the only way to mix batter and make whipping cream. Cranking the handle would send the gears into motion, twisting the beaters as fast as you could turn the handle. The sound of this device is what I remember most, but now we have electric beaters and stand mixers that seemingly do a better job because of the power and speed settings. But there's just something nice about the humble hand mixer that was always ready to incorporate ingredients the moment it came out of the drawer. Iron trivets were functional kitchen accessories used to protect countertops and tables from hot pots and pans. They were not only functional, but also highly decorative, with some having ornate designs. Many of these trivets are now antiques, and they have largely been replaced by silicone and other heat-resistant materials. Although they aren't used anymore, the decorative iron trivets have become collectible. and are sometimes even used as wall art in the kitchens of today. Dishes specifically designed for serving condiments were once a staple at dinner parties and family gatherings. These were often glass with sterling silver handles and usually had little spoons that went with it. It was perfect for fancy mustards, jellies, and even ketchup, but they have become way less common as casual dining has become the norm. Plastic squeeze bottles are just easier to pull out and use, with no cleanup required, and this led to the decline of these once popular serving pieces. These ceramic birds are an interesting artifact from baking history. Pie birds were nestled into a filled pie's center, then covered by the top sheet of dough around the neck. When baked, the bird's beak vented steam, which prevented the filling from boiling over. Although these birds are charming, it was easier to just cut slits in the top crust, because removing a pie bird after baking usually left an unsightly crater in the pie. A canning strainer or sieve was needed for any farmhouse that made their own jams or tomato sauces. You would set a bowl underneath it and use the wooden pestle to press the cooked food through the holes, separating out the clumps, which was perfect for preserving sauces, soups, and fruit preserves in jars. Now high-powered blenders are used, and these conical-shaped strainers have all but disappeared. If you've stuck around this long, don't worry, there's still more. But I wanted to let you know that we have some retro merchandise available too. Just click the link in the description to head over to the store. Butter molds were once used as a way to dress up a dinner table. You would press the butter into the mold and then refrigerate it, making it stiffen and hold the shape of the design. This allowed you to turn butter into a variety of decorative shapes that made special occasions even more memorable. Today, the effort that went into the simple things like how butter is presented just isn't the same. Modern entertaining puts more focus on the main dishes, and now a stick of butter is just a stick of butter. The cake breaker is a strange-looking tool designed to cut delicate cakes without crushing them. The cake breaker worked especially good on soft and light cakes like angel food. They were also called angel food rakes, and the tines poked holes and loosened up the slice, rather than smashing it down like a regular knife would have done. Today we have sharp serrated knives that can handle cake cutting, but back in the day, a cake breaker was a pretty common device to have handy in the kitchen. Lastly, this is a metal pocket grocery list. These metal plates used sliding markers to keep track of your grocery needs. This was back when you would buy staple foods and made things mostly from scratch. Today there are so many prepackaged and processed foods that it's just easier to download an app to help you shop, which can also tell you the price and aisle in which to find the product. Gone are the simple days of buying the basics and then spending hours in the kitchen just to keep your family fed. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt and sign up for the newsletter. Thank you to our loyal Patreon supporters listed here. Visit patreon.com/recollectionroad to join the club. As always, thank you so much for watching.